Hi folks, Job Comics here. Thought you might want to have a look at a 1980 run of Marvel Comics. This is Marvel Premiere, of course, that used to feature different sort of trialed comic book ideas. And Doctor Who was having a bit of a renaissance in the US with cable channels and PBS showing old reruns of the classic run of Doctor Who. Of course, if anybody was going to break Doctor Who in America, it would have been Tom Baker's run. And Marvel jumped on the bandwagon and got hold of some of the UK reprints from Doctor Who magazine, coloured them, and put them out in Marvel Premiere. So Mills and Wagner, you'll know from 2000 AD. Dave Gibbons, of course, you'll know his work from things like Watchmen and stuff, yeah. And this is the way that they would reprint them. So, of course, it's Tom, yeah. And Dave Gibbons really captures them very, very well. And what would happen in Doctor Who magazine in the UK is that they would give you a little kind of, I think it was like 6 or 8 pages per episode. And then there would be a kind of cliffhanger ending, and then you'd have to wait to the next one before you seen what happened. But of course, for the UK market, they were able to sort of put them into, get all those late pages together and make it into like one big issue, making for some spectacular comics. And you can see Dave Gibbons' art's just phenomenal, yeah. And there was some great ideas in these old comic book stories. And one of the stories was actually used in I think it's the Ncuti Gatwa era, where they did a story with a character called Beep, the Meep, which was a story from these old Doctor Who comics, and they sort of upgraded it and put it into the new series of Doctor Who. However, I don't think that new series of Doctor Who has done very well at all. If you're anything like me, you'll probably remember these guys here. That's Dave Cockrum that's done the art here. And then after Tom, we had Peter Davison, then Colin Baker, then Sylvester McCoy. Then it went on hiatus, and then we had Paul McGann, and then 2005, I think Chris Eccleston took over. But irrespective of that, these old comics are really, really good fun. You can pick them up quite cheaply, and if you're a fan of this particular property, you might want to have a look at it. There's also some text in the back of this for people who in the US who maybe didn't know who Doctor Who was in 1980. So Mary Jo Duffy did some editorial to catch up to speed, and there was some new artwork commissioned to fill out the issues. Wow, Dave Cockrum's art is so good here, isn't it? There you go, and that's that was the premiere issue there, issue 57 of Doctor Who, and I think there's 58. Is this a Frank? Do you know what? I think that's a Frank Miller cover. Correct me if I'm wrong, Whovians. There's 59. Again, that looks like a Dave Cockrum, and then there's issue 60, and that seems to be a painted cover. I think that was Irv Norum that did the duties on that. There we go. So if you see these and if you're a fan, then you've got to pick them up. You might have read them already. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, you'll have seen them in the UK, Doctor Who weekly and monthly. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed looking at them, and I'll see you all in the next one. Remember to subscribe.